I kept screwing up this one thing every time I submitted a book, and editors and agents would just be like, no, not interested. The characters are flat. They're not three-dimensional. I didn't connect with them. I don't want to see the rest of it. Boom, rejected. I'm going to delve into exactly what goes into a book that gets requests, that gets published, and gets good reviews. And when I talk about this book, I'm going to talk about the things that a lot of writers miss and how adding them can change everything for your scene. It is so easy to write the action scenes. Hey, car chase, I've got you. Gunfight, got you. I can do this. I can get my characters from A to B and have things happen. That's the easy part. The hard part of writing a book is the thing that I kept screwing up. And it's the thing that you most need to worry about because that's what makes readers love your book. It is that emotional internal plot. I talk about it a lot on the channel, but I want to give you a really concrete example of somebody who did it well and why it worked so well. The internal creates the intimacy with the reader. It creates the connection with the reader. But how exactly do you do that? And just as a side note, for those of you that don't know me, once I figured this out and I stopped getting rejected, I've sold 8 million copies. So once you get it, you can hopefully apply it to every book you write. It will still be hard to do. It never gets super easy, but you'll have figured out the problem, the thing that you're missing, and how to put it in. Because it sounds so simple as a concept, but actually doing it, I'm going to show you in this book here. Jennifer Hillier's career has taken off because she is a hell of a powerful writer. I met her when I was in Dubai and I was just so impressed. She's humble, she's smart, she writes so well. I just read Little Secrets and loved it and can't wait to get another book of hers. She builds that intimacy and that connection with the reader on the very first page. Little Secrets starts in the ordinary world. If you look at a plot chart, this is the beginning before things really start taking off. It should usually be very short, as Jennifer's is. It just gives you a peek into the character's life. And this is a great place to build that connection. Marin's ordinary world is shopping at Christmas in a crowded marketplace with a 4-year-old, and she's hot and sweaty and hungry and really just needs to get this done so she can go home. If the reader is not a parent, they might not relate to the 4-year-old part, but they can absolutely relate to the I want to be done with this and go home and have a glass of wine on the couch. They can absolutely relate to that. And let's look at how Jennifer does this. Sebastian, her son's jacket, is shoved into one of Marin's shopping totes, but still he's sweaty. His little hand keeps slipping out of hers every time he yanks too hard, trying to pull them in the direction he's determined to go. But Marin is cranky. She has one final present to buy. She prides herself on giving thoughtful personal gifts. Again, this is another little connection with the reader. A lot of us can relate to the fact that we try really hard to give thoughtful and personal gifts. It's a tiny thing, but every little thing matters. As a side note, if you're thinking about the external plot is pretty clear. Marin's goal is to find this perfect present. Her motivation is because she wants to show her employee that she really cares about her. And the conflict is the crowds, the heat, the lunch, the 4-year-old. There's a lot of conflict going on here. Internally, Marin is really struggling with this debate between being a good mother and getting everything done that she needs to do. It is something that will plague her throughout the entire book. Is she a good mother? Is she a bad mother? That guilt, that mother guilt, we can all relate to that. We all feel like we're not quite standing up to the job that we're supposed to do, the most important job that we have. At the same time, she adds in another conflict. Her husband's calling her. He wants to get tacos. So now she's got another ticking time clock. She not only has to keep Sebastian happy, she's got the husband. Because again, we're in the ordinary world. But Jennifer doesn't wait long before things start going really south. Jennifer does a brilliant job of gradually showing the panic and fear that Marin feels. She's about to veto the fried dessert when it occurs to her that she can no longer feel Sebastian against her leg. She looks up from her phone, adjusting the bag that's getting heavier by the minute. Then she looks down again and around. Bash? Sebastian? He's nowhere near her. On reflex, she stops walking, causing someone to run into her from behind. And you can see how Jennifer gradually creates that realization for Marin that this is not just your ordinary thing. She starts looking around for him. She thinks about the sweater that he's wearing, but she can't spot him anywhere. So now it starts ramping up. The conflict, the tension starts ramping up. She pushes more aggressively through the crowd, spinning in different directions, feeling weighed down by her purse and their coats and the overstuffed shopping tote. She calls out his name, Sebastian, Sebastian. In her hand, her phone vibrates. It's Derek with another text he's about to order at the food truck. Now that seems like it would just be a teeny tiny little detail, but it's something that a lot of writers miss. Your ordinary world keeps moving no matter what happens. People still go to work. People still call you. We've all been there when somebody's died or we've gotten divorced or something like that. And it seems like your world, your little corner of the world has crashed. But you still need to buy groceries. The laundry is still beeping to get out of the dryer. All those things are still happening. And this is what it means to have a three-dimensional world. It means that the whole world is still moving and acting and interacting and creating pressure on the character. And then Jennifer shows that hysteria and panic because somebody asks her, hey, can I help you to lose your kid? And she has the whole thing come out, boom, 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 one big long sentence. Yes, he's 4, he's this tall with brown hair, wearing a reindeer sweater. His name is Sebastian, all in one sentence, because that's what we do when we're panicked. So Jennifer's showing the panic with the way that Marin is speaking. Then she brings herself back to reality. This is also brilliant because it doesn't just keep escalating. Jennifer creates this hope and despair, this roller coaster that you want to put into your book because the reader is just like on this ride, like, oh my God, wait, maybe. Oh my God, wait, maybe. Marin takes a breath and says, okay, you know what? He's just going to show up and I'm going to lecture him about staying where I can see him because they'll find him. Of course they will. Then she calls her husband and she's like, Sebastian's gone. I've lost him and I can't find him. And now Jennifer adds in the roots of the internal plot that will plague Marin for the entire book. Her husband runs over, takes one look at his wife, sans Sebastian, and his face freezes. It's almost as if he expected that everything would be resolved by the time he got there and that his only job would be to comfort a scared, relieved wife and a scared, crying child, because comforting is something Derek is good at. There's a little message in there about the undercurrents in their marriage, but Jennifer doesn't address it right now because now's not the time. Their kid is missing. But there's no crying kid and no relieved wife, and he's momentarily paralyzed as to how to handle it. This line that comes next, changes everything. What the hell, Marin, her husband blurts. What did you do? I want you to think about that for a second. What would that do to you as a person if your kid was missing? It would make you feel tremendous guilt, overwhelming guilt. You would never, ever be able to forget those words. And that's what happens with Marin for the entire book. It is a catalyst for the internal plot. The catalyst for the external plot was Sebastian disappearing. The catalyst for the internal plot is Derek saying, what did you do? The brilliance of how Jennifer has created these characters and this moment in Little Secrets sets up for a book that was like a super emotional ride through the whole thing. I couldn't put it down. I think I read it in 2 days. It was really, really good, really, really powerful. And I love how Marin is a complex, layered character. She doesn't make all the right decisions. She doesn't make all the wrong decisions. She is complex, just like regular people are. And that's what makes us relate to her. With your character, have they been betrayed? Have they been abandoned? Have they been disappointed? Have they let other people down? Do they feel guilty? Do they feel insecure? Do they feel anxious? All of those things are what you need to put into your book. And you do that by saying, what would my character feel in this moment? Both good and bad. What would be the roller coaster of emotions that they would feel right now? For instance, in the very beginning in the ordinary world, when everything's good, Marin's got the juxtaposition between, geez, kid, just leave me alone, and okay, yes, I'll get you a lollipop, and yes, I love you, but I wish this kid would just cooperate with me. Then when Sebastian disappears, we've got the roller coaster of what happened? Oh, he'll be back. Oh, wait, I don't think he's coming back. Oh my God, he's gone. Wait, it should be fine. It'll work out. We'll find him. That roller coaster of hope and despair creates a character that the reader really enmeshes with and wants to see succeed. They're going to stay with them for the entire ride of however many hundreds of pages are in there. It's the hardest part to write. I'm not going to lie. It's not easy to put that emotion in there. If you can just get out of your own head for a minute and really think about how someone would react to this, the roller coaster of feelings that they would have, both the bad and good thoughts that they would have, then they become whole, real people on the page. If you want more, check out this video here because it will tell you exactly how to do that and give you some other examples of hope and despair in a book. And I will see you on the other side of the page.